Philadelphia 76ers now have their big three, but how are they going to build around those guys? We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Free agency preview beginning July 1st. Kyle Gaffner's here. I'm Adrian Fedke. Well, they might not make a lot of noise in free agency, kind of like what they did last year. What are you thinking, Kyle?
I think we're going to get some veterans in here, guys that really fit the system. We need shooters. We didn't really chase any in the draft, so this is the perfect time to go get your veteran guys that could help with your leadership. Get these young pups ready. Have somebody to look up to and have been in the league for a while that know what to do and handle this pressure well. Because now we're going to start winning, so you got to get high character guys in here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I also don't think they're going to spend a lot of money. I think it's going to look a lot like last offseason, if you remember. All they really did was sign Gerald Henderson, Jared Bayless, and Sergio Rodriguez. That was it. And I can see something a little bit more similar this year. Except I think they will sign maybe one kind of big guy, like whether or not you consider J.J. Redick a name or not, whatever. He's not up there like a Blake Griffin or anything, but he is a shooter, and shooters are what the Sixers need. And Brian Colangelo has said during a press conference that they do want some veteran leadership kind of in here, a locker room presence, so to speak.
And you need that because look what happened to Minnesota last year. They had a slew of young talent, no veteran leadership, and they fell apart because of it. You just need guys that have been in the league for a while, that have, curtailed this monster and really know what to do. There's been guys that – and losing really gets on young guys too. So you bring a couple high-character guys, like I said, in there, lift their spirits a little bit, have them lean on them, go to them, keep them out of trouble too.
Yeah, before we get to some of the names that we have written down, let's talk about Andre Iguodala. He's the guy that the Sixers are reportedly interested in, along with like 18 other teams. I don't see a reunion in Philly happening. What about you?
Probably not. If this kind of reminds me of kind of like what happened with Jeremy Maclin in the NFL. It would be cool to have like that reunion if he really doesn't get a lot of offers, but the people are going to be throwing money at him. You got playoff teams. I feel like he's going to want to go to a playoff team. He's won his 2 championships. He got his money, but now it's the time in his career he wants to get paid again before it's all said and done.
Dave made a great point in the group chat that we had earlier today about how teams like the Spurs actually want to sign players away from the Warriors, and that's how they're going to beat them, like in a cost-effective manner, try to beat them within.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was an interesting point he made.
Yeah, that was a smart point. You try to steal their players away. If you can't beat them, try to steal their players away because they're going to be paying big money. They're 2 big stars. They both have player options this year, so they're going to be losing bench pieces again.
Yeah, Sean Livingston's a free agent. I mean, technically, Steph Curry and Durant. Well, Durant's got an option, and then Curry's a free agent, right?
I think Curry's got a player option too.
Okay. Well, those guys aren't leaving. Like, come on, let's be real here. But Iguodala, I could definitely see him leaving, just not to Philadelphia. He's already 33 now. That's why you got Robert Covington, why you just picked up his player option. Similar type of player, wing defender sort of deal. I mean, I think he's a better player, but at 33, you're not going to pay him that money, I don't think. And even Justin Anderson, to an extent, kind of a wing defender type as well.
Yeah, they're kind of athletic. I think he's super athletic than those other 2 guys, a little bit better defender. But I think Covington's a better shooter than Iguodala. But at this point in his career, you don't want to bring him back. It would be cool just to have him back in Philly because he was the last player to really take us to the playoffs. Back when we upset the Bulls way back when, if you remember that. That's the last time the Sixers have won a playoff series. Kind of sad to say. But, yeah, the reunion's not going to happen here. And I feel like he wouldn't want to come to a team that's in the rebuilding mode. He's going to want to try to win another championship and get paid. They're talking $20 million a year for this cat. I don't want that.
If that's what he really gets, yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm not paying him that kind of money. Especially, again, I've made this point a lot. You're going to have to pay your big 3 eventually. So got to be smart about how you distribute your money. So, all right, let's talk about some of the names that you think might come here. I don't have anybody sexy on my list. I mean, the sexiest name might be Redick. And if you look at what they did last year, when in terms of adding a veteran presence or a locker room guy, so to speak, I mean, they didn't pay much for it. Gerald Henderson was the guy last year. Redick's going to get more money. I don't know how much he's going to get. I mean, it's hard to say with the new salary cap and the new luxury tax. It was $102 million last year, and some of these contracts were so bloated. So you're going to see guys get a lot of money. You're going to be like, wow, really? That guy got overpaid. Not really. It's just kind of the way it is right now.
Yeah, and you know, like say it is 18 million, like that considered with how high it is, that might not be a lot of money, but to us it really is, because back in the day, guys getting that paid were superstars. But that's probably the sexiest name out there. He fits our system. He's a guy that comes off pin down, screen and roll, can hit the shot. He shot 42% from behind the arc last year. A little bit of an injury history, but he's going to last in the league because he does something well in that shoot. You know, he's not going to have a lot of defense, but he's a veteran guy. He can be sitting there on the corners or sitting around the three-point line when Ben or Fultz is going, cutting into the 10 and then kicking back out to Redick. But you have other guys out there. Who are the other names that you have?
Well, I'll get into them, but let me talk about Redick just a little bit. So you're talking about a guy who scores about 15 points per game, shoots it 45% from three. He's 33 now, so he's like Iguodala, but unlike Iguodala, well, he doesn't need his athleticism to survive. So I think he can last a couple more years. I mean, you look at even Kyle Korver, he's 36, he's still shooting the ball. Mm-hmm. So Redick would, you know, I'm just scared how much they're going to pay him, because like he got paid under $7 million last year. So Redick is the guy, but some other names. I mean, I got like low names for real, like Yogi Ferrell, for instance. He was the guy that came on for the Mavericks last year. I believe he signed a couple 10-day contracts with a couple different teams, and Ferrell was the guy that shot it, you know, a little bit. He impressed me a little bit. He's not going to get any money anywhere, but just saying. Tony Snell is another guy on my list. Again, not a sexy option at all, but he's a wing defender. He shoots at about 40% from three. High field goal percentage, I believe, well, not high, but like 45%. And he's still only 25 years old. So Tony Snell is another name. Patty Mills, you know, because with Markelle Fultz, he doesn't necessarily have to play the one or defend the one. He can defend the two, and you can have Mills out there as well. I mean, this is the guy that fills it up from long distance, about 40% from three. He's still only 28 years old. And then just one more name to throw out there. I got a couple more, but these are the low names. Tim Hardaway, 24 years old, another guy that can shoot the three. Not as great of a percentage as the guys I listed below, but still a guy that can shoot it and fill it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I had a couple of those guys on my list too. I had a little bit different list. I'd like Aaron Aflalo out there. He can defend. He's a 3-and-D guy. He can shoot a high percentage. I really like him. CJ Miles is out there. He's a little bit of a streaky shooter, but again, you don't want to really throw a ton of money out there. I think we're still a few years away from going after the attractive big free agent names. You know, who else did I have down there? Oh, Rudy Gay. I'd really like to take a flyer on.
Meh.
No?
No.
I like Rudy Gay. The guy's got, you know, he's averaged 19 points for his career. He's going to lose a little bit of that explosiveness because the injury he's coming off of. He's a little older, but he can still shoot. I'd like to give him a tryout. He can light up the ball. He's good with some ISO. I'd give Rudy Gay a shot. And that's who I had on my – and even Jerebko, actually, from Boston. Jonas Jerebko. Guy's another guy that can shoot the three. So none of them are real attractive names, but, you know, you pay low for them, and they're going to be role players for you.
All right. Now, I got a couple stretch players that I haven't named yet, so just two. But the first one, now this guy might get some money, so I don't know if he's going to be an option for us. But Serge Ibaka, in terms of his shot blocking presence, I mean, you pair him with Embiid, that's scary. You look at a guy that can run the break, and he shoots the corner three, so drive and kick from Fultz and Simmons. I think he would be an option. I can see him getting a big contract somewhere, and I don't know if he would work here. The other one is a potential reunion with Ersan Ilyasova. I don't know if that would be possible, but obviously last year he was a great fit here with Embiid, playing alongside him as the stretch four. Filled it up from deep last year for Philly, so wouldn't mind a reunion for the right price.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
There was an echo. I'm hearing an echo. But Ersan would be great to have back here. But I know the reason they traded him because he wanted big money for 4 years, and the Sixers weren't willing to do that. So maybe if the two can meet up and they talk with his agent to get something reasonable, because he was great here. I think he loved playing here. The fans loved him. He became a fan favorite here. He really, really helped Embiid flourish when he was on the floor. He was even better than Dario and him played. Like, that's the perfect type of player you need to play with Embiid. And Serge, I think since his days in Oklahoma City, his defense has kind of gone down. I feel like he's tried to focus more on his offensive game more than his defensive. What I've seen in Orlando and the Raptors wasn't what I saw when he was with Oklahoma City. But he would be great out on the fast break. He can rebound a little bit. And he still has the potential to block shots, just not at a high rate when he was there with the Thunder. But I think he's going to command a lot of money, and that's why you've seen him traded from Orlando then to the Raptors, because they don't want to pay him big money. But it was like a one-year deal, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy you got to watch out on the price. I mean, I don't want to overpay for him, but he would be a fit here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another name I have written down on here, I don't want him, but I know he was a guy that you brought up last year, and we debated on him. Dion Waiters.
Yeah.
I don't want him.
I wouldn't mind taking him. He's going to get big money, though.
It's funny. Yeah, now he's going to get big money.
That's because he proved himself when he was down in Miami. He had a really good season for Miami. And they might even retain him.
I don't want him.
I wouldn't mind.
They can have him. He fucking dribbles the ball too much.
He dribbles a little bit, but he can shoot the ball pretty well. I wouldn't mind having him on this team. I'm not paying him a crazy amount of money.
Like, last year was the first year it was actually like somewhat efficient. And I'm worried about the efficiency. He's a ball-dominant guy that's not efficient, like Rudy Gay. That's why I don't want Rudy Gay.
I think Rudy Gay would fit nicely here. I think he would. He wants to get out of that toxic situation there in Sacramento.
He seems to always bring a toxicity around him, Mr. Gay.
Poor guy. Look at him. He's been stuck on abysmal teams. I think he's only made it to the playoffs 1 year with Memphis.
Another guy that I have written down here, again, this might be a guy that might get overpaid as well because he's only 23, but Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. What do you think of him?
You're right because of his age. I don't know if he's really a fit here. I don't know if he's more of a ball handler. He seems to want to be more of a point guard than a shooting guard. And I think he's too streaky of a shooter.
He's like a swingman.
Yeah.
But I think he fits here. I just think he may get too much money, which is why like the guys that I listed first. I mean, I think those are realistic options and guys that won't command a lot of money. Guys like a Henderson from last year. I know a name that you've brought up earlier. I guess you can talk about him again if you want. I'm not really a big fan of his, but Otto Porter.
I was gonna say Otto Porter to match his sheet, but I think the Wizards are really gonna sign him. But I love Otto Porter for what he's done. If you've seen what he's done in the league, he's improved every year. He's got a great stroke. He's really made it silky smooth since he's came into the league. He's good in transition. He's lanky. He can get to the 10. He doesn't create his own shot too well. So he doesn't have to worry about that, though, when you have Ben and Fultz. So you just do something. He'd be a really good swing defender. He's really good in transition. He's a very high-energy guy. Real lanky, can play some defense, but I really love his shot-making ability. So I would really, really love to go after Otto Porter. I think he would fit perfect in our system.
He's going to get overpaid. I know he's going to get overpaid.
Here's the thing, though. Are they really going to pay him? Because you have to – okay, so Beal's locked up for a little bit, but John Wall is due for a payday. So if you're paying Otto Porter all that money, are you going to be able to retain John Wall too? You're going to want to keep Beal and Wall together. So maybe they won't pay Otto Porter all that money and they'll let him hit the market. And I'm hoping they do.
I'm not trying to get into a bidding war for Otto Porter. But that's just me. I don't know how much he's going to command, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But if the price is right, I'm taking him. Even if we have to pay him $18 million a year, I don't think that's too bad for a kid.
He's getting more than that, I think.
Even if it's 20, 21 million, I'm still paying that.
That's hard, dude. I wouldn't do it, but that's me.
Yeah, I would definitely pay out a Porter 21 million a year. If we're paying a 33-year-old close to 20 million a year, what's another couple million for a 23, 24-year-old wing? That would really.
If Redick comes here, it's going to be like a 2-3 year deal. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy.
Oh, let's hope not.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's no way.
We're still waiting for that Brian Colangelo move. We have yet to see it, so let's not hold our breath.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Colangelo's been doing a pretty good job last month.
Yes.
So I have no complaints right now.
Yeah, right now. Now.
Doing a good job right now.
So far.
I'm not gonna jinx anything. I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm just gonna let him, if he fucks up, then I'll call him out on it. But until then, he's doing okay.
I've been surprised at what he's done. I've been happy with what he's done so far. It's a little nerve-wracking.
I mean, I thought what he did in the draft was good.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the fact that Josh's still on the team. That's all.
Yeah, that's a tough predicament to be in, trying to move a player like that. But if he can try to get something for him, kind of like the Clips did, instead of letting Chris Paul walk, they made a move. They might have not got the best deal for him, but they got something in return.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about that right now. If we got no one else on our lists.
Figured that'd be a nice transition. That's why I kind of threw it in there. I didn't have anybody else on my list.
Sorry about that. Hold on. I gotta shut something off now. I started playing a video by accident. Still there?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, yeah, Chris Paul trade. All right. I don't love this for the Rockets as much as everybody else, but whatever. He's 32 already. It'll be interesting to see if he and Harden can play together. D'Antonio likes to push the pace. And at 32, I mean, we'll see if Paul can still keep up, at that age. So we'll see.
That too, and when Chris Paul doesn't get his way, he kind of lights a fire under up everybody. I've heard he's not the easiest guy to work with. He's kind of like a princess in a store where he stomps his feet when he doesn't get what he wants. That's why there was big turmoil over there with the Clippers when he kind of threw out the idea of trading Austin Rivers. Didn't happen, and apparently that was a real feud started between him and Doc. And the continuous losing out there of making it to the playoffs, winning 50 games, it was just a bad situation. Lob City has turned into Dodge City right now because everybody's jumping ship. Blake's going to leave. Redick's leaving. So is Chris Paul. But this doesn't put the Rockets over the top at all. They still, if they can land a Paul George, they can at least compete with the Spurs and the Warriors. But getting a 32-year-old point guard, I don't see them really making anything better than third. They're still the third best team in the West. It didn't really improve their team.
Yeah, and it's a gimmick team. So in the playoffs, that shit doesn't work. You can play, the three ball layup game all you want during the regular season, but come playoff time, that shit just doesn't fly.
It's exciting.
And Harden chokes.
He does. Maybe that's where Chris Paul comes in, because Chris Paul's been a pretty clutch player over his career, and this gives Harden a chance to kind of play off the ball a little bit. You have your true point in Chris Paul, but you have to have another piece around there other than Harden. Like, if you look at the two teams, they're kind of like similar, wouldn't you say? Shoot a lot of threes. They don't run and gun as much as the Rockets do, but you still have those players like a Trevor Ariza. Eric Gordon, is he going to stay healthy? If they could try somehow to get like a Paul George there, I don't see it happening, but that would be that, like, really throw them over the top to really compete with those other two beasts in the West.
Yeah. I mean, they take the gimmick to an extreme, though. It's literally it's Morey ball. It's 3-point shot or layup. That's how they play.
It's the Suns. It's the Suns from the early 2000s.
It's even worse. It's even more than the Suns. It's like a completely different level of just absurdity.
Well, it doesn't work in the playoffs because you play better defensive teams in there. But I'm not going to lie, it is fun to watch that system be played. I love the Suns from the early 2000s, and they're exciting to watch during the regular season.
Yeah, that's why Lynn Sanity had his 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. Yeah, D'Antoni's just an offensive guru. He just don't play no defense ever. Ever.
D'Antoni. I don't know why I keep calling him D'Antonio. D'Antonio. What else? What else we got? Do we want to talk about some of the big names? I mean, I don't really care. But
I mean, we could touch on it a little bit. You got Gordon Hayward. He would be a great fit here. I would love to have Gordon Hayward here, but it's not going to happen.
He's going to Boston. There's like no doubt in my mind.
Boston or Miami, I could see him going to either place there. You got Blake Griffin. I wouldn't want him on our team. I think he's a cancer. He's not really a stretch four, so he really wouldn't fit us. He has been injured over the past few seasons, but I just don't think he would fit our system, and he's going to command a ton of money. I wonder if Boston's going to pursue him even. But him and Horford are kind of like the same type of player unless you kick Horford to the 5 spot. Who else we got out there?
All right, here's the question. Because the Paul George rumors, he's either – well, yesterday he was going to Cleveland. Sounds like today he's going to Boston. So each day it's something else. Mm-hmm. But if – let's say Boston gets Paul George and Gordon Hayward, do they beat Cleveland?
Absolutely. I think that's enough. You don't think?
Nah.
I think it's enough to pass over Cleveland.
Still got I still think the two best players on the floor are on Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, you still got Kyrie Irving and LeBron, but you saw how worn out LeBron was during the finals. They have to add more pieces other than Iman Shumpert. Now, if Cleveland can go get other players like, let's say, Melo, add him to the squad to take a little bit more pressure off of LeBron, because Kevin Love really didn't show up in this series last year. They got Kevin Durant. You know, that spiked their offensive game by X amount of points. And then it was just too much offense. And then you kind of saw LeBron was trying to do everything. LeBron was doing everything. Kevin Love didn't show up. Kyrie Irving was only hot at home. So I feel like you need to add more firepower off the bench over there in Cleveland. So if they're able to land like Gordon Hayward and Paul George, I think they would beat Cleveland.
Dude, I thought Cleveland played really well in the NBA Finals, as crazy as that sounds. They weren't that far off from winning Game 3. Could have been a completely different series. That was some high-level basketball in the NBA Finals, even though it was a blowout. And I don't see Boston, even with those guys, being able to do what Cleveland was able to do in the finals. I just don't see it. LeBron is just a man among boys. And also, you got to remember, too, if they're going to get all these new pieces together, it's all going to have to work, together. They're going to have to play together for a long period of time. I mean, Golden State, that was the thing that was incredible to me last year was how seamlessly they were able to get it going. Because even if you remember Miami, the first year with LeBron and Bosh and Wade, it took almost the entire season for that chemistry to be built. Right. And then they finally got it going in the playoffs. But for Golden State, after the opening night, when they got whipped by the Spurs, they got it going immediately. And that was incredible to me. So that's something to keep in mind as well, is the chemistry. And
that's why Paul George would be a better fit than, let's say, a Melo, because Melo, you saw LeBron, he was doing – I
don't think Melo would work on that team. As an isolation scorer, I don't think so.
No, unless he really came off the bench. Him and LeBron couldn't play on the floor together. It just wouldn't happen. But LeBron was so worn out by playing so much defense. Imagine if a George was on there and able to defend like Kevin Durant or a Steph. He wouldn't be wasting all that energy, and he's not getting any younger. Let's face it. So it's going to be another year added on there. But if he had more energy, say they did pull out Game 2, and they had LeBron a little bit more full of more energy, rather than going up and down the court and just being so exhausted from doing everything, I just really think it would aid them. They have to get better bench players. And
Tyronn Lue was stupid to try and run and gun with them. I never understood that strategy.
They play right into their hands.
Last year they played half court and they won the fucking finals.
Yes.
Why did they switch it up?
I don't know.
Durant?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
That's the thing that baffles me. Because, it wore LeBron out.
Yeah, it did. Why play? Just play to your strengths. And look what they did in Game 3 when they were they were eating them alive down low.
They won that game.
They should have. They could have exposed their centers. They really didn't have no shot blocking down there. They were getting to the 10 at will, LeBron and Kyrie, but they strayed away from it and started shooting threes. Why? Play your game. Don't try to copy and imitate Golden State. That's a whole coaching. But that's LeBron's boy right there. He wanted Tyronn Lue.
Well, Tyronn Lue did a great job last year. It's not this,
You got to adapt though when you add an MVP to a super team that they already had built. You're adding Kevin Durant to that team. That's a whole nother monster. Got to adapt.
Yeah, I mean, he tried, it just didn't work, I guess. So, but he didn't even try to adapt mid-finals. See, that was something that Steve Kerr did the first year that Golden State won the finals. That they really tried to push the pace. From game 4 on. They won 3 games in a row because they pushed the pace and they started shooting a lot more threes and they played small ball, like literally small ball. Draymond was the 5 and their 4 was like a guard. And
Sean Livingston. Sean Livingston was
the 4. They played 4 guards and Green. And that was what they went with. And they won 3 straight games with the small ball lineup. Steve Kerr was able to adjust. Tyronn Lue did not adjust in this past NBA Finals. And the Cavaliers, they lost in 5.
They did. I don't know if Tyronn Lue was kind of thrown into this situation. I don't know if he was ready to be a head coach yet. It doesn't seem like he really makes adjustments during the season. And
he's better than David Blatt.
Oh, yeah. David Blatt was terrible. Awful. He was a huge step up. But can we get some love for some Mark Jackson? This guy should be coaching a team. And we got Tyronn Lue coaching a team. Mark Jackson should be coaching a team. And to make him commentate all the Golden State games during the finals, that's just a slap in the face. They're just spitting on him. Like, look what you did with this team. You built them up, improved them every year, and now they're winning all these championships. Here you go, Mark. This could have been you, but we'll give it to Steve Kerr. Despicable.
Despicable. Oh, man. All right. I got nothing else on the topic list. You got anything else?
We got any questions from anybody?
All right. I guess we could answer a couple if I can figure out. Well, the problem with these questions is this can last for an hour.
That's why we gotta kind of make a limit, because that happened to me when I did a solo video. I answered questions for 35 minutes.
All right, I'm looking. I'm getting there. Hold up.
Not that I mind doing it, but you just get lost in talking sports, and the time flies by.
Oh, I mean, not that I'm gonna go watch the Phillies or anything.
Oh yeah, man, they won anyway, 5-4.
Oh, they played already.
Yeah.
Shows how much I know.
They're out on the West Coast. They beat the Mariners and King Felix.
All right. Okay, we got to it. Oh my God, we got a lot of comments.
Nice.
Thoughts on Zachary Orr? Should the Eagles be interested? Okay, well, this is it. Well, maybe that's another video. I can't believe CP3's with Harden. Blah, 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 blah. I don't get all the Sixers hype. Only Embiid has shown anything, and he's always injured. And Dario is all right.
It's something to get excited about. Optimism. I mean, yeah, Simmons and Fultz haven't played yet, but you have something to look forward to after what we've seen for the past 4 years.
I'm more excited about the Eagles. Sixers aren't going to make the playoffs for a few seasons. See, I actually think the Sixers are going to make the playoffs this season, and I think they're going to win 45 games.
I think they're going to win about 43 games this year. I think they easily make the playoffs this season with how weak the East is.
Yeah.
You have 2 real dominant teams in the East. And all the other teams, like the Hawks, I feel like they're going to decline.
Sean Fitzpatrick. Maybe it's my feed, but I can't hear anything. Dude, I think it is your feed.
Yeah,
I saw you had that in another video. What about Blake Griffin?
No.
We talked about that earlier. A lot of Eagles talk in our chat today. Trade Okafor to Washington for sign and trade Otto Porter. I don't think they would fucking trade.
No, they would never let Otto Porter go.
It's hard, man, to get trade Okafor right now.
Yeah, he's a fossil.
Dude, like, we're not going to get anything for Okafor at this point.
I don't even think we'd get a second-round pick for him. I think Sean Long is more valuable than Okafor at this point.
Man, so a lot of Eagles talk.
Well, it's coming there. We're only about a month and a half away from, preseason. And we are really winding down towards the end of the NBA. I mean, after free agency, there's summer league, but
Randy comments, guys, they're doing an Eagles show tomorrow. Would you like Rose and put Fultz at the 2?
No, Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
he's got too many artificial knees holding them together.
Randy wants to trade for Rodney Hood.
I'd like Hood on this team. I don't know if they get rid of him.
I mean, if you can trade Okafor,
take Okafor and a second-round pick, and we'll take Rodney Hood.
I mean, please.
Well, they got Derek Favors there, so they got a post player already. But he at least plays defense and can rebound.
Yeah. So, but after this, I don't see any more chat. It says unable to connect chat. What the fuck?
Can we call the Clippers up? I mean, since they're kind of having a fire sale, maybe they'll really be wanting Okafor. Maybe we could get Jerry West on the horn and be like, "Yo, Jerry, you trying to take Okafor off our hands? Well, we'll take DeAndre. Just give us DeAndre. You can have Okafor. You don't want him."
Thoughts on trading for a shooting guard? I mean, they can trade Okafor for a shooting guard.
That's the piece we have.
If anyone asks about trades, anything like just Okafor for anything.
Yeah, that's what else do we have? Okafor and maybe Sauce.
Maybe we can trade Okafor for DGB. Someone's Sean asks, latest on Korkmaz. I mean, I'm hearing he's coming over.
I didn't think he was. I heard he was going to play in the summer league, but then I heard he wasn't going to be playing preseason or anything else like that.
Well, we could use him. I mean, he and Redick would be great. Both shooters. Korkmaz would be the biggest free agent pickup that they could actually have.
I heard their complaint was that he was like real scrawny. His body wasn't NBA ready yet, that he'd be tossed around real easy.
I don't know why my chat's like acting up. I keep having to refresh every time I look at it.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I have to refresh and it starts the show. See what I'm saying? Same thing. Jamal Crawford, maybe? No.
Nah, a little too old.
A little too old.
He'd be like 42 when we're competing. He's like 38, isn't he? He's pretty old.
He's up there. All right, that's about it for the chat. A lot of Eagles talk in the chat tonight. I guess I'm not doing enough Eagles talk.
I think you're doing plenty of Eagles talk. I don't know. Maybe free agency isn't as sexy as the draft was. I mean, we're coming down to the bottom barrel of the NBA.
I think the basketball people have quickly evaporated after because they had the Fultz happened. Now it's like we're just waiting for the summer league.
Yeah, we're not that far off. Another week, and we got summer league.
Yeah, I'm gonna be I'll be doing some summer league stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I'm gonna incorporate some Fultz into it. Like I'll probably do something similar to what I'm doing with Fultz right now with all the college games.
Mm-hmm.
So, nobody's watching those, by the way. So if nobody's gonna watch them, I'm not gonna do them because they take time.
Yeah, I know they do. You gotta cut it up.
Yeah.
You gotta post it and stuff.
I mean, I enjoy watching the games. I mean, I've watched some of these games already, but yeah, I mean, only like not even 200 people watched it yesterday. I was surprised. I'm like, wow, people don't like. I guess people just watch the highlights. They don't want to watch what I have.
They don't want to really watch him play actual. I don't know if you would call it competition, but maybe the summer league I think would catch a little bit more fire because it's NBA prospects.
Current, yeah,
and it's current.
The thing that just astonishes me. I hate the people that make the, Fultz only won 9 games argument.
I know.
It's like it's ridiculous. It's
a joke.
I did the video yesterday on Washington State. The dude had basically a triple-double, and they still lost to a team with a 17-game conference losing streak.
Which was the team? Wasn't that the team LeVar played for? Wasn't that Washington State?
Was LeVar on Washington State?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's the D1 school he played for. He averaged 2.2 points a game.
I thought he played community college all 4 years. I guess he did go. I don't know.
Yeah, he played. He went to Washington State first, played, and then when he wasn't getting any action, then he went to JUCO.
Transfer. Okay.
That's when he was tearing the league up. 17 points.
Oh,
Too
jeez.
small.
I'm not gonna lie to you though, man. Like, I'm definitely in the minority, but I love LeVar Ball. I think he's fucking hilarious. He entertains me every time I watch him open up his mouth. I just don't take anything he says seriously. It's a character.
It is a character. It's completely for publicity. That's all that is.
Like, Monday Night Raw was such a train wreck. It was absolutely hilarious.
It was funny when he was yelling at him and his lips started jiggling. He's like, "Oh boy." It was so bad.
And then LaMelo just blurting out N-words, even though
I know.
White.
Like, really, Melo? Like, he probably didn't even know it was fake. He probably thought it was real.
Does LaMelo know he's half white?
I don't think he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. It's all that yellow hair on top just bursting out.
You know what the greatest part was? Like, they introduced Lonzo Ball to Staples Center, and they basically didn't cheer him at first because like they did not want to see this segment. People in LA.
No, they didn't. It didn't seem like that at all. And did you notice when he said he was the greatest son? Did you catch that when LeVar was like, the greatest son? So it's like, how do the other two feel? It's like you're putting your middle son down saying you basically suck and aren't going to make the NBA. And then, you got LaMelo sit right there. And it's like, oh, my greatest achievement. Here comes Lonzo. Like, LaMelo, you're nothing. This is my number one kid right here. Great.
Man.
Great, LeVar.
LeVar. The way he ran down the ramp, just what a goof.
Yeah, I know he is a goof. He is. And I got stuck on the rig.
Like how as an NBA player, how can you take anything he says seriously? How can he really be that much of a distraction?
Yeah, he's not, man. And look, he got free publicity for Big Brawler Brand again on WWE.
LeVar Ball's an absolute genius. He's a hype man.
He's exactly what he is.
He's a genius.
They could hire him at the LA Staples.
Every time, we open up his mouth and talk about him, that's what he wants.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
So
we're it's working like a charm.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts time.
Final thoughts at the draft. I'm just gonna have to say this: that Allie Love was one smoking girl. I gotta tell you.
Oh my.
We need to get a hype person like that. Like, no offense, Christian, but we have to get Allie Love to the Wells Fargo Center. Absolute dime.
Ooh.
Like that.
Bomb.
Smoke bomb.
Fuck. Oh my God. This girl, she's like the Nets girl. Well, first of all, God bless her for being involved with the Brooklyn Nets. But this girl is an absolute smoke bomb. So Molly Sullivan, please take that ancient fossilized ass and get out. Bring in Allie Love.
Bring her out. I don't know why they cut D Lynam and didn't attach Molly Sullivan along.
No, I know why they cut D Lynam. She looks like a cow. And then and then Meredith Marakovitz looked like even more of a cow. She was like more of the horse territory. And now you got Molly Sullivan, who's like skinny as a rail.
Skeletor.
Yeah, dude, it was unbelievable. It's unbelievable how much makeup she wears. Do you remember we were doing a video last year at the Wells Fargo Center? She just like walked by, and I was like, holy Christ, she looks 15 years younger on TV. Yeah,
she does. I mean, the camera really does hide a lot of stuff, and so does makeup. That makeup crew must be applying that for at least 45 minutes to make her look. I thought she was a lot younger, too, but when we saw her, I'm like, wow.
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't need makeup, and that's Allie Love. If you know oh, man.
Smoke bomb.
That is one hot black chick.
Yeah, she was gorgeous. We really have to get a petition with this whole fresh blood of coming in with talent. We got to bring that type of talent in for the hype person. Christian Crosby can be upgraded to whatever. He could take D. Lynam's shot, but we got to get Allie Love to be the hype person for the Philadelphia 76ers. Get it done, Scott Harris. Come on, Brian. Trade Okafor for her. Do something.
Actually, that would be fucking genius. Trade Okafor to Brooklyn for Allie Love.
Done.
Yes. Do it.
MVP.
We end the show on that note. I bet you no one knows who Allie Love is.
They will after this.
She was so hot at the draft. Oh.
Look her up. She's probably on the internet. Look her up, guys.
Yeah. All right, we're out. That's Kyle Gaffner. I'm Adrian Fedke. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show.
Peace.
Actually, I know you guys enjoyed the show.